best. All right, good morning, Warren. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, beautiful community. Good morning to everyone connected to this beautiful morning of this program that is changing life we call Wealth Secret Mindset Mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, I always tell people there is always a secret to wealth creation. Wealth creation has to come from the mind. And if you're not in the right state of mind, you may not be able to attain the wealth. Some people say, man, I already have the money. I said, it's not about having the money, because if you have the money, what if you don't have the proper mindset? You don't have the proper understanding of how life works, of how success works, of how things work. Let me tell you what happened is that the money would eventually goes back to where the money comes from. And that is why this program is set for you. This class, this daily podcast is designed for somebody like you and every other person that is willing to have a different mindset, that is willing to have a different philosophy, separate from the way or the ones you had before. And even if you have it before, like one of my mentors used to say, repetition, repetition, repetition. You have to go over it. You're not going to get tired. You don't say, man, I've been to one of those classes. I've seen one of those, I don't need to be motivated. We're not motivating you, but we're only guiding you by teaching you some of the basics you need to prevent you from having a different philosophy so that you can have and make the most of your life. We call it life change. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your regular host here, Dr. Afolabi Olatunji, on today's program of Wealth Secret Mastermind class that we do. All right, so we started the weekly teaching series on, steps to a better life change, steps to having a life change that is going to change it. When we say change is everything, change is all that we envision, change is all that we all look for, change is all that we are looking forward to have, manifest in our life. And this change, ladies and gentlemen, just not come by chance. You don't live life by chance. You live life, to see that change really take hold in your life, in your spirituality, in your economic, and in your social value. And that is very, very important. So, starting the weekly teaching series, the life change that we taught, we begin by evaluating the 3 key steps to having a better life change. First, we talk about, you finding out on how things works, right? You better find out on how things work. In finding out how things works, you definitely need an idea. Idea is what rules the world. That is what they say. Without an idea, there's no life change. There is no creativity. There is no, there is no better, craft that is going to bring about innovation and the rest of it. So you need to find out how things work. And one of the most problems people do face is lack of an idea. Most times you don't even need to have that idea. You're starting up a business that, that you want to do. You see other people that are successful in that trade. Why not just go ask them, read books, follow people that are already successful in that line. That is what reality principle says. Follow them and then do the same thing until over and over until you have a different result. So that is key number 1. And when we talk about key number 1, we also say you might need to, in finding out how things work, we talk about curiosity, and we give you an example of what might work for you by, using the lifestyle of a child, which we call childish curiosity. Child are curious for everything. They are curious. They can ask you thousands of questions. They can ask you things over and over until they get what they want. So they are curious about the new adventure, the things that they want from you as the parent. And when we say childish curiosity, we're able to look at the 4 ways a child does carry out, being curious about things and how they be able to have it. First, we talk about excitement. Kids are excited about the things they want to have. It's always good to, use the lifestyle of a kid. I learned that from my mentor, the person of Jinro. And that's when I started looking at, oh, that is true. This is how a child does things. This is how the kids does things. Kids are curious. Kids are excited about what they want, and they don't stop. They're going to come at you. No wonder even the Bible said, if you don't have the heart of a child, if you don't behave like a child, you might not even have, your prayers being answered. So it's very important. So it's very, very key. So ladies and gentlemen, take note of that. Now, one of the points here again is that when you are find out on how things work, you also need to really go to action, take actions on those things. And when we say take action, you need a game plan, ladies and gentlemen. We need a game plan. Yesterday, we were able to evaluate the game plan, how you need to take a game plan. And you need to take a game plan by having every action, every action on your game plan. Take massive action, every action on a massive deployment of this same action. That is the formula for success. You're able to put it together. You need to really, take actions on your goal. Take actions on the things you find out. Now, this morning, what we're going to be looking at is that the third point, which wraps up the 3 keys to having a life change, is that you need to just be a little bit cautious about it. And to be a little bit cautious about it, we are talking about don't try to beat the system. Don't you try to beat the system. Ladies and gentlemen, if nothing makes sense to you, you don't want to miss this teaching this morning. Don't you try to beat the system, which form the key number 3. I told you, you need to be a little bit cautious about it. If you try to beat the system, a lot of people in this life, we like to always do a shortcut. Now, and this is really happening in this part of the world, which I comes from, Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria as a whole, we like to be the system. We don't want to do things in the right way. We always want to embrace shortcut. Ladies and gentlemen, shortcut can also shorten your success. Shortcuts is not the best way to do things. Don't try to be the system. Always find out how things work best and then do it right away. Do it right away. It's not about you thinking and saying, oh, I'm just going to cut this corner. We like to cut the corner, even in the education sector here in Nigeria. We don't want to go to school to read the right book, the right courses, the right, teachings that is going to help you to gain mastery in the field you have chosen, in the profession which you choose to want for yourself. We like to bribe our way by bribing our way to the lecturers. And that's why we have so many, graduates that are out there. They only graduated from school, but they are the one that the school didn't pass through them. They are the one that passed through, they didn't pass through school, but the school is the one that passed through them. And you can tell. And that's why we have most corrupt things happening in this country by trying to beat the corners. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not do this. If there's anything you need to do it well and do it the right away. You see, when you try to cut the corner, you are not just only destroying yourself, you're not just destroying yourself, you are destroying the economy, you are also destroying your spiritual life. In fact, some people in the spiritual part of life, when by deploying, maybe we're talking about religion, some people even say, Pastor, can you pray for me? You believe that until when you pay the pastor, that is when your prayer are going to be answered. How about you just go into the corner and just decide to pray for yourself and just put channel your complaint to your God. How about you just doing the right way? We're looking at the political sector. The same thing is what is going on here in this country. People are always liking to cut the corners. You don't want the true vote to count. You are always looking at how to bribe your way, how to get you there. You're not qualified by all standard, but with the power of money, you can get yourself there. Why can't we just be a little bit cautious on the way we do things by trying to do the right thing at the right time to see things start working for us? Let's not try to beat the system, ladies and gentlemen. Beating the system is that we constitute a nuisance. We're not going to have the capable hands to run this country. We're not going to have the capable hand in our businesses. We're not going to have the capable hand at the top of our organizations, businesses. We're going to have people that are just there just by themselves. And guess what? They're not going to have the right hands. They're not going to have the right expertise. They don't even know what to do at the right time when there is a problem or so kind. So let's not try to beat the system. Let's always find out how things was the best and let's do it right away. Like I said something, I said, even though it seems to take a little bit longer, he said, do it right and don't compromise with right. Even though it takes a little bit longer, do it right and don't try to compromise with right. You see, when you compromise with right, It is the result we are seeing right now. It is the result we're seeing in our social life, in our economic life, in our spiritual life. It is what we are all seeing. Everything that is happening that is not right is as a result of trying to, cut through the system. It's as a result of trying to beat the, a formulated system, a set up system. That is what we are seeing. You want to study success. Like I said, you want to be successful, go study success. You want to be wealthy, then you need to study wealth. You want to be, happy, study happiness. Whatever you want to do in anything you've chosen for yourself, please, ladies and gentlemen, let's not try to cut the corner. Let's not try to beat the system. Let's do it right. Let's do it in the best way. You see, cutting corners has really caught us unaware and has got a lot of good things that is supposed to have happened to us as a country, as a person, as a professional, in everything. It has affected us. And let's not try to be this way, talking about cutting corners. So I give you 3 keys, all right? 3 keys in which you need to know when you try to cut the corner. Now, one of them is that you need to be a quick learner, all right? You need to be a quick learner. When you learn quicker, when you are a quick learner, it means that you are already looking to having a better life change. If you are not a quick learner, a lot of things are going to go wrong. You can't do the mistake. Somebody say it is insanity to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. How can you be beaten twice? We also have a saying that says once beaten is twice charged. Ladies and gentlemen, be a quick learner. Don't stay in, don't stay in the pit. You say you messed up. Are you going to stay in the mess? Are you going to remain to be in the mess? You don't want to be in the mess. You get yourself up. One of my favorite basketball player of all time, Dwayne Wade, said, every time I fall down on the basketball court, what I do is that I stand up 10 times. I stand up 10 times. How do you stand up 10 times? Mentally, he sees himself, doing better. Whatever that has caused him to be down, then he picks himself up and he gets up. I remember, during about the mid, during the mid of 2021, I was going through some downtime as a result of some manipulation, as a result of people trying to cut the corners, hoping that I want to put a system right to do it the better way. And this thing got me so emotionally affected, and I was downcasted. I was going through some, so terrible time of my life. And, all I see is that, I try to work on myself. I try to pick myself up, though it took me like a couple of weeks. But when I got up, by getting smarter, getting better, and getting stronger mentally, what happened is that I ensure that that kind of thing didn't come to me again. I try to make sure that I don't stay in the PD again. I try to make sure that those kind of experiences are no longer mine. You see, you can't stay doing the same mistake. And most people say, this is how I choose it. This is what I want for myself. That is not the best way to eat. So the second key point here is that even though it takes a little bit longer, I say, do it right and don't try to compromise with right. Please don't try to compromise with right. Always do things the right way. Always do things the right way. You want to, do anything. You want to be, you are given the opportunity to manage system. You know what? Don't try to use your position to say, I have to enrich myself. Let's not do this, ladies and gentlemen. We have used it to destroy our economy. We have used this to destroy our social life. We have used this to destroy our personal life, not just spiritual life alone, everything. You are using it to destroy your family. You think everything is what a woman wants in the house. You think money is everything a woman wanted in the house. What about the affection? What about the love? What about the care? Can money buy those things? You just think everything. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not do this. Let's try to do it right. Let's not compromise it right. All right. So the third part, which wraps up the key point to you not trying to beat the system this morning, is that I said, don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Please don't be stubborn. You are too stubborn, and that's your stubbornness is what got you to where you are. You are being too stubborn because you see, it is all that you know you don't want to listen to anybody. You don't want to hear anybody say anything. I'll tell you something. You know what? Being stubborn is a major disaster for anybody. You can't be stubborn and say, you know what, I'm just going to stick to my own knowledge anyway. I'm just going to keep to the things that I know. I'm not willing to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Matter of fact, they said that is the illiterate of this 21st century. You better just try to ease up a little bit. You better try to like tell yourself, I need to, you know, I need not to be too stubborn to things. Oh, the things that I know is what I know. Oh, this idea, I've been doing this thing for 30 years. A lot of people say that, you know, I've been doing these things for 30 years. How can you bring it, you know, the 30 years, you know, lifestyle or the 30 years, you know, space into this modern current dispensation? It is a recipe for disaster. You don't want to be too stubborn. Whatever you know in the 80s is different from what is happening right now. We understand that you have experience. There is nothing wrong with it. Your experience can be needed. But how about you just trying to learn what others are learning? Now, I'll give you an example. Is it the same way computer system was then that you're experiencing right now? No. Now, people talking about artificial intelligence. Why would you not want to do artificial intelligence? In trying to, you know, study it more, understanding how the system of technology works, and you said, oh, it is the IBM, all those typewriter, all those things, you know. No, you can see it's not going to work. The way we raise a child in those days, it's not the same way people are raising up a child. You need to understand things. You say, oh man, in the olden days, my parents, you know, they used to flog me. Of course, some of us, we've been through that. Our parents used to beat up on us just for us to imbibe the knowledge, you know. But this is not how it is being done now, all right? So you need to understand things. Don't be too stubborn and say, I'm going to stick to my idea. I'll tell you something. Old ideas are the biggest liability of mankind. Take that note. Old ideas are the biggest liability of mankind. All right. So let's not be too stubborn. Let's try to learn the right way and not try to cut the corners. Let's try not to cut the system. All right. You say, man, I'm not just going to do this thing physically. I'm going to be tough in my mind. Be tough in your mind, but don't be too stubborn. All right. Because if you're too stubborn, you will be cutting the corners without you knowing. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this message gets to you this morning. Remember, it is a teaching series for the week. We started by talking about having a better life change, evaluating the 3 keys to having a better life change. The first is that we say, find out how things work. You need an idea. The second is that you need to take massive action. Go to work. Go to work by taking massive action. Talking about taking massive action, we say you need a game plan. You know, you need a game plan for your business. You need a game plan for your work. You need a game plan for your academics. Whatever you think you're doing, you need a game plan. And if you say you don't have a game plan, you say, man, I already have my game plan. I say, show me your goals. What are your goals? Show me your game plan from now and the next 6 months. That's when I know you're on your way to success. So you're on your way to a better life change. And the third one, which we just, we just evaluate and we just share this morning, is that we tell you not to try to beat the system. Don't try to beat the system. And this is where you need to be a little bit cautious. You try to beat the system, ladies and gentlemen, it's like we are, betting nuisance. We are betting, we are creating a recipe for disaster. And here in this part of the world, we've seen it enough. We try to beat the system. The bus driver driving through the, traffic, he doesn't want to stay. He thinks he knows better. He thinks he has the right guys. He thinks he can bribe and pay the last mile guy. He thinks he can pay the police official. Of course, that is what they want. They just give me some money and you're just going to go. Let's not try to do it. Let's do things right and let's not compromise with right. Let's always do things the right way. If you want to study success, if you want to be successful, study success. You want to be wealthy, study wealth. You want to be happy, study happiness. You want to do anything you want to do in your life, make sure you go for the right study, and then eventually you will see that the life change you always want will be in a physical manifestation. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me to you this morning, and I hope you got value for your time. I hope your time this morning is not a wasted time after all, and we encourage you to subscribe, like, and share our page to your friends, your family, your neighbors. You can do with your enemies. Let them also have a better life change. so that they can be your friend eventually. All right. So it is our responsibility to change our world. It is our responsibility to ensure that we have a better economy, we have a better country, we have a better people around us, because eventually, at the end of it all, when everybody is happy, I'm not saying maybe everybody, when most of us are happy, we're going to have things change for us. Life change is not difficult after all, only if you decide to ease up a little bit and follow this 3 key steps. All right, guys, it is your regular host, your friend, and your success partner, Dr.